Right now, we've been looking at some of the down ballot races, particularly the Senate races with Elena. So Democrats need 4 or 5 in the Senate, need 30 to take back the House. Is that in the cards?
I think that's a much steeper climb, but anything is possible in a wave election. But I think I'd say that's highly unlikely at this point.
Right.
I'm curious to get your take on how the impact of Barack Obama is going to carry down the ballot, right? Because he's got crazy high approval numbers now. We know Michelle Obama is out there as well. But the fact that he's now sort of making his move to push for these down ballot races, how's that going to play state to state?
Well, I mean, he's now endorsed 30-something House candidates, and he's cutting ads. We've already seen at least 3 of them. We saw one in Minnesota for Terry Bonoff, who's challenging Eric Paulson, one for Brian Caforio out in California, and then one for Brad Schneider in Illinois. So those are 3 that came out just last week. So I think that he's making a push for it, and he's trying to do what he can to build up the party that he's leaving behind. Arguably, he hasn't done a lot before this to do this, but I think that he's trying to
read the last chapter of my book, Buyer's Remorse.
Nice.
But I think he's doing as much as he can for the situation that he's in. He's got sky high approval ratings as compared to where he was before.
This is great. This is a focus that I wish he had before, but. He's focused not just on House races, but on state legislative races.
Right.
They've identified 150 state legislative candidates for Assembly or Senate around the country that the president has actually endorsed. I don't remember any president, doing that for state legislative races, but it's so important because of reapportionment.
They see 2020. They see it up. They see it directly in front of them because that's when state legislatures redraw the maps. And what is so important about this is that it's part of the reason why getting to 30 seats in the House is so difficult at this point, because the maps, the places where they could expand, just don't really exist anymore because of the way that the maps are drawn. So, back in 2009 and 2008, Republicans pretty brilliantly realized this, and after losing the White House, made it a huge, financial focus to pick up state legislatures so that they could be and governor's mansion, so that they could be at the forefront of redrawing those maps and getting House maps that looked much more friendly to them, and they succeeded. Some, of course, are tied up in litigation, North Carolina, Florida, but and Democrats are have problems with this too, with gerrymandering, as we see in Maryland. But being able to have people in there to fight for what some people would call fair maps is really important, and Democrats have sort of fallen off in paying attention to that in the first sort of couple of years of the of Obama years, but now they're refocusing on it because I think they see what's coming up ahead.
Yeah, I mean, and the Republicans were very smart to do that. It was Karl Rove's strategy, and the Koch brothers put up the money, and they just focused on getting the Times reports this morning that when President Obama took office, there were 99 state houses. Forget which.
I think Nebraska has a unicameral.
Nebraska has just a unicameral, yeah. But there are 99 state houses. Republicans controlled 36 of them when President Obama took office. They now control 68 out of 99.
It's striking.
Yeah, it's right.
It's
just
really striking.
Really going in this direction.
And there's an element too of simply whoever is in the White House. It's harder for people down ballot to make the argument. If things aren't going well, it's much easier for the opposition party that's not in the White House to be able to make the argument of staying in power. But we'll see what happens as of 2020.